What's going on, guys? Jim here from Clockwork Industries. Welcome back to another Clockwork gaming video for Diablo Immortal. So, sorry I'm late with this one, but I've been pretty busy in the shop here, and I haven't got around to making some videos I've been needing to make. And we just had a new developer live stream. Man, that chat was wild in there. They started out with Diablo Immortal information and news with the new Blood Knight class coming out that I'm going to be talking about now. And then they ran into the new D4 content, which 95% of the chat was there to see. And chaos ensued in the comments. But either way, big hype for Diablo Immortal. This is actually something I've been looking forward to. I'm going to be class changing to the Blood Knight when it is released in, I don't know, what is it, 5 days now? Today is the 7th, 6 days. It releases on the 13th. So I'm a Crusader right now. I'm going to be class changing through all the classes eventually. I want to get all the essences and stuff, at least as I'm able to keep up with it. I'll be switching over to Blood Knight. And I'm going to be doing build videos and all that kind of stuff for the Blood Knight as well. I'm going to put up 2 Crusader videos. I wanted to get more out, but I didn't really have time to deep dive into it like I did with the Monk. I was running Monk for like 8 months, so I had a lot more time to get new essences, to try new builds and do all that kind of stuff. Crusader, I just was only Crusader for a few months, and I got most of the essences. I think I'm missing like 2 or 3, but I've got a couple stable builds that are pretty well rounded, work in PvP, one for PvP, and then one for PvE that I kind of rotate a couple skills out. It works for open world farming and all that kind of stuff, and raids and dungeons. And I'll post some videos on that, and then we'll get switched over to the Blood Knight next week. But let's go through this really quick and take a look. We got the Blood Knight class has been announced. It's all coming next Thursday on the 13th. Introducing new Diablo Immortal class, Blood Knight, monstrous new Blood Knight class that is joining the fight in Sanctuary, July 13th. Here's a video. We can actually, I mean, you guys can probably play this, but I mean, we can watch it. It's a pretty badass trailer.
The darkness has always been with us. And humanity is right to fear it.
You got me pumped.
The darkness wants to consume you and all you love. But my kind claim its power and wield it in defiance. Humanity is right to fear the darkness, but I am a Blood Knight, and the darkness fears me.
Skills look pretty interesting too. I'm really looking forward to trying these out. Blood Knight, new class, July 13th. So, in this update, we also have a few things. They got the origins of the Blood Knight. I'm going to have a link for this down in the description. I'm going to have a link for the Twitch stream. On the Blood Knight launch day, I'll be live streaming. We'll switch over to the Blood Knight. We'll start running around doing dungeons, farming essences, all that sort of stuff. So, you can join us over there on Twitch. Right now, I'm kind of switching back and forth between Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4. A little bit heavier in Diablo 4 right now, but I'm still going to continue making content and streaming both games, just as things kind of go back and forth between the games. Let's see here. So here's like the whole backstory of it. You guys can read this. I'll have the link for it down there. So you can create a new character, use the new and improved class. Some of the cosmetics won't work for this class, but if you use the newest Phantom Market one, that will have one available. And then basically, I think a new Battle Pass launches with the Blood Knight, so that Battle Pass cosmetic will work with the Blood Knight. Starting on July 13th, there'll be 3 ways you can pick up a polearm and impale your way through the Burning Hells as the Blood Knight. Create a new character. Use the new and improved class change. We're removing the class change cooldown for the first 3 weeks after the Blood Knight's release, so everyone has a chance to harvest blood and become an abomination. More information on this coming in July. They are going to be changing up some of the things with class changes. I heard they might even remove the cooldown entirely. Some potential things. None of that's confirmed, but I know that they're going to make it easier for you to switch classes with the gear and everything like that. I think they've already made some changes in that. Enter the Crimson Plane, a 3-week-long event like the Fractured Plane, but everyone plays as the Blood Knight. You'll earn a Blood Knight cosmetic and a legendary items for completing. Oh, that's pretty cool. So everybody at least gets to test it out temporarily, even if they don't class change to it. Use these new skills to make the Knight obey you. Combine your mastery of the polearm with supernatural strength and vampiric powers to overwhelm the demonic foot soldiers in the burning hells. So basically, the main weapon for a Blood Knight is going to be the polearm. Primary attack skills, you have Ravage. Unleash a barrage of polearm thrusts and sweeps, dealing damage to enemies and 25% as much to... Wait. Dealing damage to an enemy and 25% as much to other enemies. So it's like an AoE primary attack. Annihilation, ultimate of Ravage, which is the ultimate of this one here. Enhance Ravage for 12 seconds, gaining an additional polearm in your offhand and increase your range, causing the final attack to knock back enemies. While empowered, Annihilation deals increased damage. You also gain a shield that absorbs damage equal to 20% of your maximum life for 3 seconds. So it's almost like Crusader one, where you buff up, you get a shield, and you just slam your main primary harder for like punish. Shadow's Edge. This one actually looks really cool. Wield a blade of pure shadow energy that can be used to slash nearby enemies, dealing damage. If there's no enemies, the blade will be thrown a short distance, dealing damage. I like this because it's melee, but it also is ranged a little bit. Shadow's Embrace, the ultimate. Enhance Shadow's Edge for 12 seconds, throwing a volley of 5 blades that penetrate enemies, dealing damage for each blade that strikes an enemy. You also gain an absorb shield equal to 20% of your life, 3 seconds. You have Spear Flurry, and these are all the skills. Wave of Blood, this looks kind of cool. Expel a wave of blood, knocks back enemies, dealing damage. That could be useful in PvP. We'll see how it goes and how it could be interrupted. Tendrils of Blood, shoot bloody tendrils into nearby enemies, dealing damage. Activate again to pull inflicted enemies to you, dealing additional damage. So you got an AoE pull. This is kind of, I was wondering if they're going to have a skill like this, because I was thinking of the Death Knight from World of Warcraft, where they got the death grip, and they could pull you in. Siphon of Blood, continues siphon blood from a prey around you, dealing damage all by near enemies and healing yourself for 15% of damage done. It's a channeling skill, so it's going to be rough. Or it slowly consumes energy, which, oh yeah, it's a channeling skill, so that could be interrupted in PvP. I don't know how often that'll be used, but Sanguinate, liquefy into a bloody form for 2.5 seconds, increasing your movement speed by 50%. Activate again to coagulate, and coagulate your being and rush forward, dealing damage to enemies. This is interesting. Movement speed, kind of like a wraith form with an additional thing to it. Umbral Lance, hurl a lance of pure darkness that penetrates through enemies, dealing damage. Charging longer, increases range. Swarm of bats. Call a cloud of bats around you to attack enemies for 8 seconds, continually damaging them. The cloud of bats will pursue enemies and can be redirected. Interesting. Whirling Strike, whirl your polearm around multiple times, dealing damage to nearby enemies next. So this is kind of like a cleave, almost like Barbarian has. It looks like a little bit bigger range. Mephitic Cloud, release a toxic cloud around you for 6 seconds that confuses enemies, causing monsters to attack each other and restricts targeting for players. This could be an interesting PvP skill. Skewer an enemy with your polearm for Skewer. Then slam an enemy into the ground, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and stunning them for 3 seconds. Another potential PvP move. Shroud of Night, level 47. Shroud yourself and all nearby enemies in darkness for 8 seconds, causing shadowy apparitions of yourselves to emerge every 1.5 seconds to unleash primary attack against your enemies. This could also be interesting. This is going to be an interesting class to play, especially figuring things out in PvP with a brand new class. Abomination, consume all your anger to transform into an unholy abomination for 15 seconds, increasing your damage done, replacing your skills with Blood Rush and Shatter Fist. Generate anger each time you damage an enemy with your primary attacks or use a skill. That's pretty wild. Blood Rush, shed your mortal flesh and move forward a short distance, dealing damage to enemies in your path. Shattered Fist, unleash a series of massive blows, dealing damage to all by nearby enemies. Every third attack causing a knockback. It's almost like the monk attack. Transfusion, fortify yourself for an ally with enriched blood, granting shield for 3 seconds that absorbs damage. Additionally, harmful effects will be removed from the target player, and it will be immune from harmful effects for the duration of the shield. This could be used in PvP, almost like you got one of these and a satyr with you. Double bubble. Targeting an ally with transfusion can cause you to rush to their aid and cast transfusion on both of you. Transfusion can be activated again once additional time. Activated again one additional time within 5 seconds. Interesting. Shred through your opponents with the class-specific legendary items. So we got all the, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but we got all the legendaries for the Blood Knight class. So we start off with 60 total legendaries, which is great. That's like 10 for each slot. Catches you right up to everybody else. This is basically what I'm going to start doing as soon as I class change, grinding through and getting what I can and starting trying to figure out builds. And I'll be posting videos on all of that. We got a new gem. This looks ridiculous. I think I'm actually probably going to swap my Cure Sling that I ranked up for these new weapons and put this as my defensive gem. Spiteful Blood, 5-star gem. Taking damage while below 50% life causes Spiteful Blood to surge through you for 4 seconds, increasing your damage done by 30%, making you invulnerable to primary attacks. In addition, when Spiteful Blood triggers, you gain an absorb shield equal to 160% your base damage. Spiteful Blood cannot trigger more than once every 20 seconds. This looks like probably the best defensive gem in the game. We'll see how it goes, but from what I'm reading and understand about it, I think it might be. And then they have a short story here on the Ryan Quinn, I think it's a background on a Blood Knight, and then a link to the live stream. So I'll have a link in the description for this post. Link in the description for the Twitch channel. Come hang out while we switch over to Blood Knight. If you want to take a look at the class as soon as it launches on Thursday morning, stop by and have a look and see it for yourself before you make the decision. I'll also have videos up probably Thursday kind of going over the class change process and all of that. And we'll start the legendary farming or legendary essence farming for the Blood Knight. I've been looking forward to this. Data miner found this so long ago and it's been hyped up for like patch to patch to patch, and it's finally here. So yeah, really excited about this. Season 1 for D4 is coming soon as well. That's coming on July 20th. I'll be streaming and making content for that, rolling a new class. Just about to hit 100 on the Rogue. I think I'll hit that this weekend. So I'll have a link to the D4 channel down below, Twitch channel, link to this article here for the Blood Knight. And yeah, I'll see you guys over on Twitch. Take it easy.